Great news! Amazon Alexa can now ride shotgun with you, and if you are already annoyed with me because I triggered your Amazon Echo, well, you looks like you're already a customer, so you're gonna love this. There are a few news for the Model 3 because as they're getting closer to the end of the quarter, there are a few interesting news. We now know what Kia Niro EV is going to be priced at in the United States, but how we found out is kind of weird. And then not one, but two comments of the day. It was a good batch this time, so I wanted to feature a couple. All right, let's get going with all of this. Alexa, play the E4Electric intro.
Taking over the world, electrifying the world, E4Electric.
Alexa, cancel. All right, you're welcome. Sorry, you might disconnect your Amazon Echo just in case I say that a few more times. But welcome to the show. Thank you to those of you who are watching me on Patreon. And of course, if this is your first time here and you're watching me on YouTube, welcome. And if you are interested in staying up to date on everything that's going on in the world of electric cars, well, there's a subscribe button down there. Click on that, it's free. That way you'll stay up to date and won't miss anything moving forward. All right, this is really exciting to me. I even wore my nice shirt for this story because I'm a fan of Amazon Echo, and you know I use it all the time around my home when I wake up. You know, it's pretty cool. I mean, I know some people have Google Home, but it's a very similar service. Now, some car manufacturers have already been putting that in their cars, kind of enclosing it as sort of incorporating it with their user interface. Byton is one of them. Audi e-tron just announced they're going to do it as well. They're unveiling in San Francisco earlier this week. And I think BMW, a few others have it. But now you don't have to have a car that has it already built in because Amazon announced they're going to sell this device here that you'll be able to plug inside of your car and essentially take Alexa with you and in your car. Now, you still not qualified for the carpool lane sticker, but it is going to make your life easier. Now, there are going to be two things. Well, first of all, they're not selling it yet. You need to go to your Amazon account, and I think you need to get an invite. But at first, they're going to be selling it at half the price. Original price is $50. They're going to be selling it for $25. I'm definitely going to get it so I can review it for you guys, but it's going to be useful in two ways. One, of course, you're still going to be able to control your home from your car, which is kind of cool because as you're approaching your home, you can turn your lights on, set your thermostat, get your garage door open, and there's such thing as routines, as you probably know. So you can just say, you know, Alexa, welcome home, or I'm coming home, or whatever, and it will execute all of those things that you want to do for your home. So that's pretty cool. But secondly, you will also be able to communicate with your car while inside of your car with your voice, which I believe is the best way to communicate with almost anything, because that's the most natural user input way of interacting with your outside world. All right, but this will depend on the skills add-ons that you have created for your car by your manufacturer. And I know they will probably be creating quite a few of them now that this device is coming. But you might want to check for that. You know, I know BMW has one, Lexus has one, and they're all a little bit different. So you're going to have to check on that. I'm really excited. Once I get it, I will definitely review it for you guys. And, you know, hopefully you'll get one for yourself. If you don't have Amazon Echo at home, I got to tell you, you know, they're pretty cheap and they're pretty cool, especially if you have an Amazon Prime account. Check it out. All right, let's move on to another exciting news. Before that, of course, I want to remind you guys that this show and this channel is sponsored by Evanex, which I actually got a wrong logo of. This is not Evanex, but this is my other sponsor, the Climate Exchange. They're doing a raffle. That's what you're looking at right now. But let me switch back to Evanex because today it is their time. So, wow, I am a mess today, but here you go. Aftermarket accessories for Tesla. Yes, I have a few of them myself. There's a discount code in the description of this video. So go ahead and grab that so you can save yourselves a few bucks. And let's see how many more things I'm going to screw up before I move on to the next story, which is about Kia Niro EV. We already talked about it, that they announced that their range is going to be 301 mile. Now, I probably should have mentioned that that's not going to be the EPA range. The EPA range, people are saying about 260, which is still very impressive for this car. And now I can say for this price, Because InsideEVs.com, which is a site I really like, they do a lot of awesome stuff, including sales reports at the end of each month. But they dug up somewhere in the media, I think in Asian media, that the price of Nero EV, as adjusted through their Nero plug-in hybrid example, translating British pounds to American dollars. I know it's all very complicated, but it looks like they figured out that it's going to be around $34,000. That's before the incentives. And I think that's really, really cool. That's a great price for this car with a great range. And let's just go with 260 miles. They've already been making the plug-in and the hybrid version of this car for a while. I reviewed one, and it was pretty decent. I just really wanted to see what this all-electric version is going to look like. So I'm very excited. This is really, really, really going to make the electric cars much more accessible without Tesla Model 3. And this is even priced even less. Now, of course, once Tesla Model 3 is produced at $35,000, we'll see. But for now, and this is a compact SUV, which people love. That will definitely win a lot of hearts. So good for them. But speaking of Model 3, as the end of the quarter approaching and Tesla is scrambling to deliver as many of them as possible, well, also, Inside EVs is reporting that their inside source is telling them that Tesla is really, really, really going to push deliveries. Like, they're emptying out all of their parking lots where they stacked up on the Model 3s. I guess just in the Bay Area, in San Francisco Bay Area here, they're targeting 1,000 deliveries a day for the next week, which is insane. So they are really, really now. But here's a problem: the production is still not really good. This is a tracker by Bloomberg. It's about 3,200 now. Electric is reporting that they're closer to 4,000 in the last week, but it is still nowhere near of their goal of 5,000 and definitely not 6,000. And people are wondering if they're going to be able to reach even the bottom range of their goal for the Model 3s to be produced this quarter, which we know is pretty crucial because Elon Musk, once again, he just had to set a goal publicly once the Tesla company be profitable this quarter and the next quarter. So we'll see what happens, and which we can just keep our eyes on it. But there's good Model 3 news, and that is that it's getting a fob. Now the reason is this picture looks like it was like a baby being born and measured of how big the baby is because this is the I believe FCC pictures once it got approved, this fob by that was filed by Tesla. Looks pretty much like the Model S and Model X fob, but as you know, people have been having a lot of problems accessing their Model 3s because there are only two ways right now. One is by, a card that you carry, like a little almost credit card looking thing where you have to touch the car. Who wants to do that? And secondly, and that was mainly suggested way, is by simply approaching your car with your phone. The Bluetooth connection will trigger and the car will be open. But a lot of people were having problems with this because, sometimes Bluetooth connection doesn't connect. Sometimes people pass by their kitchen that is too close to the garage and the car gets unlocked. And it's not necessarily Tesla's fault, I have to say. I mean, Bluetooth technology has been, not exactly a friend of a lot of us. As you use the Bluetooth technology, it's buggy. But now Tesla came up with this key fob, which is probably the best way to interact with your car, because when you have it with you, obviously you're ready to interact with the car, approach it, and to have it open and stuff like that. So a lot of people, I think, is going to be very happy about it. And again, it looks pretty cool, just like the other two. So I think that will make a lot of people out of all this almost 100,000 sold happier. I think a lot of them are already very happy. Now there's some not such good news coming up from Tesla, because there's yet another executive who is leaving the company. His name is Liam O'Connor. He is currently, no longer VP of Global Supply Management at Tesla. He's been there for about 3 years, and almost 4 years, I guess. He came from Apple. Now, supply management is important. I mean, especially for the batteries. As a matter of fact, there was another report that Tesla secured yet another contract with one of the literally like mines where they mine some of the battery chemicals, and that's very important. So I'm assuming, was in charge of many projects, including that one. I guess it's not so much the fact that he is leaving, it's just that he's like fifth or sixth person who left in the last couple of months. And of course, we don't know why these people are leaving, these executives are leaving. I mean, there are only a few possibilities. One is they simply can't find parking at the headquarters. If you've ever been there, you know there's no way to find parking ever at all. Secondly, it's because they just got burned out because it's a lot of work, it's a lot of scrutiny for the last couple of years with the Model 3 ramp up and stuff like that. Three is because everybody wants to hire somebody who works at Tesla, and there's a lot of poaching and opportunities for these guys, and they leave. And fourth, of course, that they just can't work with Elon anymore because a lot of people are reporting that he's a tough guy to report to. So that's another possibility. I don't think we'll ever know. This is a little more than I would assume that I think is okay with or normal for Silicon Valley. And they're going to have to replace these guys. And again, the talent right now is not that easy to get because all of the other companies are trying to hire them for their electric car projects. So we'll see what happens there. But obviously, this is something to be concerned about. Again, we don't know what the cause is. All right, let me move on to the comment of the day. And there are two of them today. So let me read the first one. This is from Dr. Pony. Dr. Pony, all right. He says, I hope we all agree that hybrids are nothing but ripoffs. Okay, we don't. Now, when you say hybrids, I'm going to assume you mean plug-in hybrids. Yes, hybrids, hybrids are better than gas cars, fully gas cars, but plug-in hybrids, I think are good. As a matter of fact, I own one myself because I bought it as a commuter car a couple of months ago. So here's why plug-in hybrids are good. First of all, and actually this is the only reason, it's essentially a gateway drug to electric cars. People who want to drive electric but don't want to deal with range anxiety or don't have $100,000 to buy a Tesla, which basically the only car with a real range right now, and they just want a peace of mind. In my case, when I travel, I don't want to sit at superchargers for 45 minutes, even though I do have a Tesla. So that was my solution. And spare me in the comments how I'm using gas because I'm using so little gas that it's in comparison to what my mailman uses or your mailman uses to deliver your mail. It's a tiny fraction of it. So, but it is I think very much an essential step for people who want to get the benefits from electric cars, because most of the time when you buy Volt or other plug-in cars, you end up using mainly electricity and very little gas. You get used to all the benefits of electric powertrain, you get used to the rebates, you get used to the carpool stickers in many states. So it is a great way to get people slowly, sort of an intermediate step. And obviously manufacturers, yes, they definitely have a crappier reasons to do that because they don't want to innovate, they don't want to make that big step, so they're making the baby step. Again, I'm more excited about the reason why people are going to be moving to all electric cars rather than manufacturers being lazy. So I don't think it's a ripoff. I think it's actually more help for our community than anything. All right, let me move on to the next comment. And this one comes from another great username, Adad Supreme. And he says something very interesting. He says, Dieselgate was one of the best things to happen for the EV future in history. There's more to that actual comment, but this is it's kind of weird because I just got an email from one of my Patreons that I really liked. And he wrote me this long letter about how Dieselgate really affected his family because, Dieselgate does poison, a lot of air in Europe, and people do actually literally die from lung-related illnesses and so forth. And I don't see how it's any different in large cities in the United States and other countries where diesel usage is good. But at the same time, I think this guy is right. I'm going to assume it's a guy. It says that, right? Okay, so I think he's right because, diesel was still a thing a few years ago. Manufacturers were still going full force because it was, cheaper than the regular gasoline, and they were really, really not going to give up on it until the Dieselgate, because everybody realized, oh my God, in order to meet all the standards, the only way you can get through regulations, the only way you can produce clean cars is to cheat. Right? And then when you do, people turn away from you and you go to jail. So I have to agree with you. You know what? The Dieselgate is one of the best things that actually probably after Tesla that happened to electric car communities. Sad? Yes. But I think if you think about a lot of things in our lives that are good, the laws, the regulations, the products, they all came up of some problem or somebody dying or somebody getting hurt and stuff like that. And then we turn around and say, wait, let's make sure that doesn't happen again. So as sad as it is, and it really was a heartwarming email that I got from that Patreon, and obviously that's horrible. But I think that overall, for the bigger good with time, this really maybe was the best thing that happened to us. Let me know in the comment section. I'm actually curious to know what you guys think about that. But for now, this is it for the news this week. There was a lot. I will see you guys on Monday. But meanwhile, don't forget Saturday and Sunday videos. I'm actually probably going to review my Chevy Volt for you because there are so many requests. Other than that, see you guys next time, and remember to stay charged.